Hello and welcome to the dog bark stream, where it's all dog barking all the time. Is your mic still muted? Okay. Yeah, no, there's Daniel and Miko. Just every time we go to stream, every time I go to stream, they start. Oh, look, there's some Sethra action back here. Look at this. Look at this though. Look at this. That's her favorite toy. It's like a plastic. Oh, really good. It's like a lanyard, like, you know, like you got like you put a card on it or something, you know, for like a casino or something. But yeah, that is Sethra's favorite toy of all time. She cannot get enough of it. Anyway, okay, that's enough talking about dogs and cats. Oh, actually, we'll talk about Cody Cat. How you doing? Now she's over here. She's claiming my my microphone arm. That's why my mic's moving right now. She's rubbing her head on it. Oh, there it goes. What are you doing here? Yeah, she's feisty right now. All the animals are just going crazy right now. There she goes. Okay, and again, enough talking about cats. Let's just get into this fucking game, okay? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Aku stream. If you're new here, please give me a follow to help out on Twitch. And if you're not on Twitch, then, you know, I'll take a like or a subscription on YouTube just fine. Hold on. And also make sure you tickle the bells. There we go. Okay. Yes, the game. That is not correct. Hold on. I need to exit the game because it's... The game audio is coming out from my speakers and not my earbuds. And because it's not coming out the earbuds, you guys aren't hearing it either. You know what it is I probably opened up the game before I got my earbuds out. There we go. Oh, yeah, hold on. So need to restart streaming it again on the Discord so that way Reika can react live. We'll see how we get through tonight with the voices, because you might hear my voice is a little weird tonight. I was in the office all day, and something about the air at the office always makes me feel like if I'm in the office for like 3 or 4 days straight, by the end of it, I feel like I'm losing my voice. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I need to open up everything for the stream in a very specific order, or else like we'll get no audio from the game like this. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking to, as I keep calling him, the Japanese Edgar Allen Poe over here. But we're done talking to him, because now we got to move to Briar Road. So I saw a funny meme, because, you know, I always do a stupid, really low-effort meme edit for my streams now. No, Cody Cat, maybe. I was saying, oh yeah. So I was trying to look up, like, you know, Sherlock Holmes memes or Ace Attorney memes, and I saw one where it was it's, you know, the meme where it's the guy and he's like gesturing to the butterfly and he's like, "Is this a pigeon?" But they replaced the guy's head with a Phoenix Wright, and the thing he was motioning to, the butterfly, was replaced with the attorney's badge. And he was saying, "Is this?" He's like, "Is this evidence?" Because just like in this game, how every time we go to look at our evidence, it always shows the armband, which, like, it always shows the armband there. In the Phoenix Wright games, it always shows his little like attorney badge, and it's just there's no point in having it there because it's not evidence. You're never going to bring it up in court or talk to somebody about it, but it's there. And I just thought that meme was really funny. Sorry, I'm way over explaining memes. Probably should just put it up. Oh, this is some great fucking entertainment tonight, huh, boys? So this is where it happened. Briar Road. Nope, didn't get that. Nope, didn't get that. Hold up. Audio issue, of course. Speak again. Oh, you're muted here for some reason. No, babe, I think you've muted yourself on Discord. On Discord, it shows that you are muted.
So random.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
Back to it, boys.
Look, Mr. Naruhodo.
It's still you.
Look at the regulation metal helmet. It's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
Yeah, those are Bobbies, all right. That is their job, you know? Babe. You gotta pay attention.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, hold on.
To see one with my own eyes. It could also be that we're catching up to where we were having issues.
Yeah, just a moment. I gotta change her on. It's Discord. Okay, speak again.
But Mr. Naruhodo, to see one with my own eyes.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, Discord, like, I don't know, took a big old fart or something, because now it's... Let's do it at this. Okay. Once more...
They're often depicted in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, but I never dreamt that I'd ever come this close. But...
Okay.
To a real Bobby's helmet.
What? The helmet?
Of course. I had to try one on one day. Oh. I read that so weird.
Okay. We're still dialing it in here. I swear we actually, like, got this sorted and did sound checks before we started, but something went weird with Discord. And I don't know what it is. Well, I hope your Hattie dreams come true.
Oh, this guy again.
What's the Japanese delegation doing here? You're up, babe. Stop eating while we stream.
Oh, Inspector Gregson.
This isn't on the tourist trail. I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
Oh yeah, William Robbins back there. Good catch, Cody Cat. Oh, you've been holding cells then? Been to the holding cells then? What'd you make of the criminal? Oh, that's right. I gotta try to make it sound like his mouth is full when he's eating.
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
Well, we'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The book's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict says a foregone conclusion. Ugh, the stone-cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold air.
That makes it worse somehow. You know what? See, because this might help also just with hearing her a little. It's just music on or off. That's it. Like, literally, you don't give me a slider for this? Okay, never mind, I guess. You know, we probably looked at this earlier on in an earlier stream. Okay, I know she has exclamation marks. That's just because she's excited. You don't necessarily need to shout everything Sasato says.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, man.
Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes around and rouses up all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work.
What? He wakes people up?
Yep. Raps on the windows with a long pole.
Did it myself, going back a bit.
I had no idea. I didn't either. What?
The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. And after that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's a regulation distance.
I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me see. 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. That's just a 4-hour walk.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far.
And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But with a heavy heart, that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm not fucking doing it either. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. What? What the fuck did I mean by that? This game's too damn poetic sometimes.
It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in the hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
Suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
There's a map of the local area. I happen to have one on me. You can take it if you want.
I'm sorry for this guy's accent, guys. Like, this guy's voice acting, it's just... I don't know. I can't do it well. It's whatever. Really? Are you sure?
It's your policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on.
I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Street map of the local area showing where the victim was found.
Anyway, as far as we know, there is no one else in the scene other than the victim and your fellow countryman. So what did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it?
Who did it? Not what did it.
Who? What? Fish and chips? I don't fucking care.
Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming to not have seen anyone else around, but...
But just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry I have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. It...
What?
We have two very reliable witnesses, no less.
Ah! I'm getting very confused of everything.
It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them.
There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Ah!
A policeman? That, might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Oh.
I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems.
Policeman witnessed the incident? As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh, yes, one more thing, Inspector.
What?
The person who led you to the suspect, I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. I like going down the list. Let's keep going down the list.
That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well, part of the thing that's giving me trouble with this guy is he's like so expressionless and so emotionless. And when he does start expressing emotion, he's just like shoving fish and chips in his mouth.
It makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would catch that case with a barge pole.
Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It is all a bit strange, though.
Sorry?
The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones.
But master criminals?
The violent one?
That's right. He handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for the sins.
But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he was accused of, surely?
That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase.
You'll have to get used to the fact this guy talks weird is all. Sorry. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it?
No, There's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he puts it?
Who did you hear that name from?
Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions.
Fiddlefowl.
Ah,
The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh,
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he?
he is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gobble.
Huh?
Ever seen this before?
Oh, yes, that's Ranced Magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes appears.
Gosh, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, seems fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any of Sherlock Sholmes' tales at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped on by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Clearly, the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective.
Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes, what is it?
Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this.
By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly.
Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all this, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again.
The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address. Oh shit,
It's in Baker Street.
she's getting ready to throw me. How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing stopping us from going, I suppose. Better try to find our way there before Sasato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage.
We gotta look at the scene of the crime first. So, we're to have a reunion already with the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, did you see me being Mr. Crocker yesterday? First off, don't look at me when you talk, because then they can't pick it up on the mic.
Oh, right. Well, it's really weird to talk to you and not look at you at the same time.
No, it's fine.
Uh,
I talk to myself without looking at myself all the time. Not that weird. Usually how I talk to me.
what?
What, do you go into the bathroom to use a mirror when you talk to yourself?
I don't talk out loud, I talk in my mind.
Wow, people. I never knew my wife was psychic.
Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then.
But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Wouldn't it?
Oh my god.
Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. No, Susato, no!
No, 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 no! I wasn't serious. She's very determined.
She has a dream, hun. She has a dream. What a delightful snowman.
I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy, though.
Oh, it has a scarf. Look.
You'd need
I wanna
one.
make a scarf.
It's okay. You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
But the person who made the snowman certainly would.
Stop it,
How are
Sasato.
you reading his mind?
Yes, I know. You're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. He knows that's not how cloth works, right? Like, the cloth isn't heated. It's supposed to trap our own body heat. I agree. Cody Cat, I agree.
I don't know why you said no to the money, Ryunosuke.
I didn't do it. I wanted to say yes. Jesus Christ. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons.
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong. We have no cause for concern.
Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough.
Twice. I
No,
found
no,
myself in-
no,
Oh.
no, Sasato. Now you're really reading my mind. You're taking my lines. Twice I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what was going on.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favor at all.
Ugh. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred.
Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it?
That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding.
Oi, what are you foreigners doing here?
Oh, we, just
Conspiring with the mustached fellow from Japan, are you?
conspiring?
Come here to destroy evidence, have you? Get out of here before I give you an ad. Go on.
Jeez. You shoot us away like rats.
Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think.
What a disappointing experience.
Want to make sure we look at everything, boys. Bushes. Ooh, what's this? There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks.
It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow.
I slipped over when when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead.
Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. I worry coachmen might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses.
Well, thank you for the rather small concern. Alright, I think we're done here. Oh, wait, on. There's an arrow. Oh, look at this arrow, boys.
Oh my goodness.
There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, we gotta look at this bike first.
Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling.
It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that.
Goodness, do you dislike bicycles?
No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. It's just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, I know you'd agree with me.
You'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I'll ride you around.
As our character, as Ryunosuke, fallen into a river while using stilts? What the fuck? Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging. It's sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible.
Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Well, good to see we're taking notes about this case. The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy.
Well, it is known as Foggy London Town.
I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Oh yeah, the crystal tower. Babe, you're up.
Aha! Yes! That must be the Crystal Tower being built for the great exhibition that's to be open in 6 months' time. Apparently, it's going to be very striking, blaze on all sides, and the symbolic significance of the expedition.
Exhibition, not expedition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, isn't it? I can't even begin to imagine it.
Oh, did we check that broken gate then?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
just part of the bicycle. Well, actually, it's part of the windows, I think. All right, I think we're done here. So,
I don't know if we learned anything.
time to move to Sholmes' suite. Oh, cutscene. I'll get to hear just how bad our voices have been.
Oh, it's very bad.
Thank you very much.
It's just up there overlooking the street.
Goodbye. Thanks again. This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
He sounds way too British for being Japanese, if you ask me, but... A lot of potted plants.
I didn't get to hear Sasato's voice.
Yeah, she went,
Oh.
huh?
Huh?
19th of February, 12:53 p.m., Sholmes's suite. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Is it as described in the stories, Miss Sasato? Sasato-san?
Many, many famous cases have been solved here in this very room.
Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the stories, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
Detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, I suppose I can, yes.
So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please, don't mind me.
She's obsessed. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Definitely not the voice.
Hello! Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello? Wait, aren't you...
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once.
I'm sure it's the same girl. Miss Sasato, did you see the girl who was just here?
Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The King of Bowaria?
King Wilhelm Godstrich Sigismund von Ormstein, of course.
Yeah,
we'll say that.
We'll go with that. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over there.
The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, you.
I knew it. Sasato-san recognized her too. No flashbacks.
Oi, why'd you take my gun, you
just
thug?
skip it all through. Please just skip
I
it.
am! What do you think I'm doing?
Okay, damn well. I'm the victim, I suppose.
Stop! God, the only thing worse than having to go through those is you yelling constantly through it. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber.
I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Or you having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London.
Oh, yes, it was challenging.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Is tea supposed to
Oh
look
my,
that color?
what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Alright, it's a winner. I tried planting different leaves designed to elevate fatigue, you see? You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're just to vent a Japanese then. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley?
Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
And perhaps more to the point. Why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson.
Wilson?
I live here together with Hurley.
So
What?
it's Wilson and Sholmes instead of Watson and Holmes.
And this... Oh,
Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name.
what?
What's the matter?
No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson?
What's the matter with Sasato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? I can't help but think, too, looking at the background, I can't help but think that, like, I know it's a red, like, chase lounge or whatever, you know, it's like a couch, but I keep thinking it's like a race car bed behind Sasato.
Oh, yes, that's right. And what's your name?
Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Sato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Runo. Got it. Susie?
And Runo? There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't even know where to start.
Yes. And so do I. How do you
Stop it,
read
Susie.
minds?
Susie, stop it!
I really want to know how her voice is actually like.
Really want to know? You really want to know what?
Their voices.
Oh.
When Iris.
It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey?
Yes, that's right. You are ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming.
Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us.
Oh dear. Like this? Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Toe.
Oh,
Oh, look at that. Hold on, real quick. Cat cam. Sethra. Hey, baby. Look back over my shoulder and she was looking at me. Sethra loves looking at me. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Pet the cat real quick.
kitty cat. See? Yeah.
Yeah, she's my little baby. Okay, back to game. Cat cam's done. Although you can still scoop her out there, but it's kind of hard to see her. Just because she's so dark.
Oh my god, you barely could see her in the tiny picture.
I know. Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gino Estrade.
Oh, Ginny? Yes. She's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
her to pinch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my invention. No.
This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that. So she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Sorry, your technician?
Curly, of course. Silly. Curly? Yes, Curlo. Curlock Shown. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
Daughter? Not likely.
What?
I would call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Scholl? Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate.
Your roommates?
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris. How old are you?
Oh boy.
10 at last this year.
Well, what of your mother and father?
Oh no, they're not around.
Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there.
Oh yes, there's something I must ask. Of course. Go ahead. I am a very great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholm, and... Oh, you have a copy of Rand's magazine? Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories?
That's right. Curly is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating.
Janine, stop putting your hands in front of your mouth.
I'm not. I'm doing like this.
I know, but it's blocking the mic still sometimes.
Oh. It'd be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness. Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you are the author? Yes, I'll let you on a secret if you like. I'm going to call the latest adventure Speckled Band.
The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the stories here and there. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble.
Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly. But it's a story. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? So, do you mean to say... Are the stories of it Mr. Sholmes are published in Rand's magazine? All written by me. Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read. are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson.
Sasato-san's getting more and more worked up.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. I am a doctor of medicine.
No. At 10 years old?
At 10 years old.
Well, that's quite incredible.
But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly, for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? I suppose it does, yes.
Poor Sasato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Your deductions just now. About before.
Yes? What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me.
How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean?
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How do you know all that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course. I'd be delighted, although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh, goodness gracious. First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Bruno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey's in the defendant's antechamber.
But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that?
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh,
So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against a particular prosecutor, telling me you are unaware of London's court affairs.
oh, the Reaper of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I?
Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today? Ah. They used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, the two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particular sad expression on your face. So I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling.
A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been Mr.
Mr. Natsume. Now, Rudo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourself. So I put 2 and 2 together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion that those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Oy. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know, he is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Oy vey.
Definitely definitely better than
Well,
Sherlock
was it a
Holmes.
winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. Better than Sherlock Holmes.
You even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' delivery.
Oh, well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please?
So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying.
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who have seen a short, shifty-looking stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking stooped man?
Shifty's in the title of this stream. Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said he didn't see anybody else on the street at all, but it seems there were witnesses after all.
Hurley used his great deduction powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking stooped man, shivering in fear.
Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective. Wasn't that in blue?
Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh,
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the trials in court.
So I guess that's their excuse, because of course in a game like this you can't have, you can't make the whole game just be about one case, with all taking up so many days and shit. In the other Ace Attorney games that I've played, they're set slightly in the future from modern time, and the whole thing is that like Japanese court systems got too overfilled, so a new law was passed that every trial had to be done within 3 days of the crime. Or like, when someone gets arrested, they have to have their trial done within 3 days of being arrested. Like, it was kind of like a story thing of happening in the future, but I guess this is an alternate reality of the past, so.
and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system.
I'm very much doubting that this is the world's greatest justice system so far in this game. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-San. Thank you for answering so many questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Reiko went to get water. She will be right back. I can't wait to take a look around this room. There's a lot of interesting things to look at. What bugs me too is I know that there's probably a crap ton of like references to Sherlock Holmes stories around in here. And I have read all the Sherlock Holmes stories that are available for purchase outside of England, the United Kingdom. Because there's 4 stories that the United Kingdom doesn't allow to be they don't allow it to be published anywhere outside. And I could have gone online and stuff. I just didn't bother because I had gotten several collections that I had read through. And none of them, of course, had those 4 stories. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
Did you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Well... I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Ome? Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
We probably should have gotten that information from him ourselves.
Well, I imagine police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there?
Yes, we know Inspector Gregson.
Oh, goody! In that case, give Gregsy this for me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
Iris's postcard has been added to the court record.
It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try.
Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime.
No, I want to look around the room.
I don't want to speak with 2 people again.
So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. See, now you got a little taste of what I go through. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. To be continued. We're gonna still keep playing. It's not time to stop for the night.
It's like every case is 3 hours long.
Now this one's probably gonna be a long one because now we're doing investigation. Because the first one was just court, the second one was just investigation. Now and then the third one was also just court. Now we've got investigation and court, which is how these are supposed to go. And the part that I always got hung up on in the past was like they didn't let you go to court unless you had like all the necessary pieces of evidence. So sometimes I would find myself just going back and forth between the different locations, talking to everybody, going like, what is it the game wants me to get? And there's just some like tiny thing on a corner of a screen you have to click on, or one person you didn't happen to show them a piece of evidence because you didn't think about it. Hopefully we don't run into that here. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation.
Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible.
Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. Hold on. I want to take a look at this myself. Oh, first off, yeah, okay, so here's Briar Road, Meerschaum. This is the brick house with the bricked up windows. This is where it happened. Okay, I just wanted to take a look at that. Yep, and that's exactly what it says. Present. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment?
I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of foreign gadabouts, that's for sure.
We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson.
What? For me? From her ladyship?
Her ladyship?
Give that here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me.
Ah, don't wait for me to give it to you. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? Sometimes it's just so weird what this game says. What was that coin exactly?
That's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is.
An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean...
That's right. For the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me every time. Or overtime.
Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly.
Of course, her using my name without my say, so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still.
Oh, God, he's eating. I forgot. I am sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you.
Never you mind that. So, what did you want to know then, eh?
Sorry?
Tell the gentleman in black what he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, it says. Well, obviously, that's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know?
Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's laundry.
I don't know why we don't just ask Mr. Natsume.
Oh, little knife-wielding mustache Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old hovel. It's just over there, look.
I even clicked on that door, not knowing that just behind it was the great detective Herlock Sholmes.
On the first floor of that house on the corner where that wreck of a bicycle's propped up.
That is nearby indeed.
If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garadeb. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes.
Don't worry, Inspector. We will.
Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship.
What the...
Okay, so is she like a noble then? The fuck?
Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left.
Yes. So then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? I also don't like the way he's always shoving those fish and chips into his pocket.
Definitely.
I was not expecting it to be right here in this building. Okay. He didn't run very far then to get to his house, huh? Oh, what the fuck am I looking at here now? Why is there a pink apron draped over a cannon in the middle of this guy's fucking sitting room? Hi, Cody Cat.
Welcome back.
You're up, babe.
Oh God.
Make
I
it
don't
like
even
make
know.
it like the teacher in the kindergarten game.
I don't know how that sounded like. You and Nichan did that.
I don't know, just make her sound like ridiculous.
I don't know how to do that.
Like,
either.
oh, whoa, you know, that kind of stuff. Why I never, you know, stuff like that. Want me to do it
I
then?
help you. I don't think that.
Do you want me to do it or?
Yeah, you do it. You do it.
May I help you?
Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Gardeb?
Indeed it would, sir. And who, may I say, is calling?
My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here.
Oh god, that face!
What the?
Oh my
Who
god!
was that?
Oh,
So we would very much like to ask him some questions about our client.
oh.
I'm scared. What the hell?
One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Gardeb.
Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid.
I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. Oh, that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better.
It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it?
We need only to meet a butler, and the experience will be complete.
Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment.
Thank you for waiting. Mr. Gardeb will see you now this way.
What the
My god, I forgot in these games, every character is a horrible nightmare person. Everyone looks crazy and acts crazy. Well, let's take a look-see around. That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing in here?
Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica.
That old thing, bah, that's little more than a toy.
Sorry.
The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house.
Really? It isn't overkill.
Be prepared, I always say. You never know when you might accidentally press the space bar with your thumb, thereby causing it to, Twisted World is going to throw at you next, boy. Here we go.
Do you think there may be trouble in brewing? Mr. Garibdab?
Oh, they are the sun and the moon. Look at that.
Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel.
It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. I notice you have a pile of books here, Mr. Gardeb. Do you enjoy reading?
Ever experienced a London winter, boy? The nights here are long. No better way to pass the time in front of the fire with a jolly good book.
Oh, there's a copy of Rand's magazine here. I see. No doubt Mr. Garibdab enjoys the adventures of Sherlock Holmes too.
The great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it?
Clearly been well looked after, though.
That old thing? Pah! Not much better than rags, really.
Oh?
Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have an odd piece of memorabilia lying around, does it?
Oh, I see.
Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. You okay?
Ah, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here?
Ah, those old things. Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit of a colorful regiment folklore, that accident.
You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells?
Well, I wouldn't say deliberately, exactly. They're only scrap iron, after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you?
Useful for what exactly?
Yes, well. Joan here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day while she was dusting.
Oh, no.
Hadn't shed a tear since 1969 before then, you know.
1869.
1869. Not a time traveler, you can trust me on that.
Maybe reconsider throwing them away? Doggies are playing.
That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased in a very grand manner.
Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say. Although it bothers me that it's not straight.
What, that old thing?
Sorry?
I should be glad to see it. I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way.
So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose.
There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see. It says, "For distinguished participation."
Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Distinguished. It's a participation award.
Well, one does like to blow one's own trumpet. But I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cody K, so he's a time traveler with that hair? Yeah, he's from our future where fucking Hunger Games happens. That's some goddamn Hunger Games hair if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
That portrait of Mr. Garadab is glaring at me, I swear.
Have you noticed that all these little frames contain photographic prints of Mr. Garadeb as well?
Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well.
Ah, yes. Seemed to come back from the local pawnbroker with that little trinket.
Seemed to come back? What do you mean?
The chap who runs the place is a bally wizard. Went in to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need.
The little lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to the requirement. What?
Soseki-San doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter.
Just a second, boys. Let me get a drink of water.
I just went and got myself a cup of water. And look who's shown up because she heard the water noise going on. And what she wants to do is she wants to steal my water.
I gave you a glass that has a cap on it for a reason, honey.
She really likes to steal her mom and dad's water.
Yeah, that's why I use my Slytherin mug now.
Yeah, I know. I just grabbed a cup of water for now.
Look at the enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, surely.
Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder?
I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek.
Maybe let's not, Mrs. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Oh wait, look at this though. The rug is burnt over there and the floor looks charred and there's a candle knocked over here. So I think they're hiding a fire accident. Okay, so let's take a look over here. Oh yeah, see, there's where the candle fell down from.
This old candle holder looks a little out of place here. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. Also, look at the wall over there. All the china's, like, what's up? The jars, the shelves, everything's all fucked over on this side. What the shit?
That old thing, yes. Just a cheap piece of ironmongery, grimcrack, really.
Oh.
Used it when I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, still has its uses sometimes.
Of course.
Does everything in this room have some elaborate story behind it?
They're memories, Mr. Naruhodo. Memories. Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand.
Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me.
Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It's quite the English way. It is Mr. Garadeb's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea.
That sounds delightful.
Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on the stand.
Well, naturally, and it would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garadeb doesn't eat, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up.
How magnanimous of you. Well, that might explain their body types there. Okay. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it?
Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful?
Although the shelves seem to be broken.
Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces.
Sorry. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice.
Huh, I wonder. Perhaps a cannon was fired at it.
Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. And the final thing, out the window.
This window looks out over Briar Road, where the young woman was attacked.
Oh yes, I can make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene.
The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see it very clearly.
Does this thing open at all? I wonder.
I shouldn't underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir.
Sorry?
As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze them in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you.
It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. All right. See about maybe talking to these two then.
Good day to you. John Gardeb at your service.
Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer.
Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings.
So he's a retired soldier.
It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I can tell you. Don't get out much, but you can, as you can imagine.
Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs.
You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo.
Ugh, you think so?
Well, Mr. Gardeb, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal.
Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Ah! Dash it all, woman, be careful!
Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir.
You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands.
I shall be more careful, sir.
So anyway, there you have it. The living the quiet life now.
Yes, I see.
Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging
Downstairs, is that right? I told you, everybody in this fucking game series is some kind of goddamn nightmare person.
Yes, you would be very grateful if you could answer some questions.
Only two, please, naturally, especially if it helps keep the peace here in Blighty.
Yeah, I'd say like that's part of the series. It's just like the only normal people is the main character. Like the main character is the straight man, and everybody else is just fucking bonkers.
We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were.
Oh, is it?
Even had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe?
Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Humph. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business.
Oh, but you have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so...
I like that theory, Cody Cat. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-San's room.
It's a bally nuisance, it is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss, it's jolly unsettling.
How about Mr. Natsume then? Mr. Gardeb, please do tell us.
Gardeb. There's got to be something behind that name too. Is it like an anagram or something for something else? Gotta think about it. Yeah, I know. Every time he sticks his fucking pipe in there, it makes me cringe.
Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week.
Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then?
I have two lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us.
I'm pretty sure Natsume said he's been here for 10 years, right?
He's been there for a year.
The first floor became available a week ago. Dash it all, Joan, do be careful!
Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I don't remember the title. I'd have to take a look at it. Because like I mentioned earlier in the stream, I think you were gone, but oh no, get out of there. Seth's over here trying to steal my water again.
It was something Kokoro.
No, yeah, for this story, but I'm saying Day is saying that it is a Sherlock Holmes story. But anyway, I have read almost all the Sherlock Holmes stories, but it has been a few years since I did that. Also, I haven't read the ones that are reserved only for the United Kingdom publications.
How many are there? That's only in.
There's a lot. They're mostly short stories.
If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him.
The Adventure of the Three Garridebs, one of the 56 Sherlock Holmes short stories written by British author Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, is one of 12 stories in the cycle collected as The Case Book of Sherlock Holmes, 1927. Well, I had them all in one big collection, so I don't know exactly how they were broken down. But thank you, Kodigat.
Oh, why?
He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything.
We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure.
Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all?
God damn.
This lady is so creepy.
Yes, oh yes, indeed there was.
And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume?
Oh my word, yes, the man was shadier than an orchard.
I like that. Shadier than an orchard. That's good.
Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day without another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too.
Oh, I see.
The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning.
So Sinuel's down there. That's what it's like living with Sinuel.
Could you clarify something, I wonder?
What, pray?
How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine?
Oh!
I understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct?
That's right, yes. They're both below us, on the first floor and street level.
Then, how is it you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed.
Oh no.
Gah!
Good grief, Joan! Be more careful, woman!
Oh my goodness, sir! I'm terribly sorry, sir!
Something doesn't add up here. This guy, man, this guy's fucking robe's gonna be brown with tea by the time we leave. Let's see. The incident 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. No wonder he doesn't have any kids. No kidding. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road.
Gotcha, Cody Cat. The incident... Oh, sorry. I want to talk.
Incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby?
5 o'clock is dinner time in the Gardab house, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road.
Oh, I see.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then?
Such as...
Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated.
Well...
Yes? Was there something then?
Well, it's nothing particularly significant, but at around that sort of time there... Ah! For the love of God, Joan! Watch what you're doing! Oh, dearie me! What have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do me more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow.
Oh, yes?
I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I can remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all.
Oh, really? Mr. Gardeb? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been...
Oh, well, yes, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing... Ah! Joan, dash it all! What is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quite uneventful meal. Joan? That's right, Mr. Gardeb.
What is the matter with these two? Are they like banging or something and they don't want it to get out? The shit. No, Sethra, stop. This daddy's water.
It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what?
Wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on?
Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor.
And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak?
Yes, told me Knott's his name, had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key.
Mr. Natsume is engaged...
Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services?
That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean.
Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs.
Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. Wait, I thought they said the shifty Japanese guy lived on the ground floor, street floor. No?
Keep getting
I
confused.
thought he was the one that was... yeah, I don't know. It doesn't help, too, that they keep calling this... what we would call the second floor, they call the first. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we?
Yes. And while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more.
Alright, let's get the fuck out of here.
I wonder what they're hiding.
Oh. Okay, let's see. Back. Move. Mr. Natsume's room. Oh,
Oh my.
yeah, there is a lot of books.
And a cat.
And yes, the windows are bricked in.
Oh my god, what's the name of the kitty cat?
Thought they did a little meow, just as Shanine said kitty cat. Oh, what? Just look at this place. And smell it. Oh, it's so musty in here. Suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. Look at her face.
I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life.
No, me neither. So dark in here, too. Is that...
Is that the window over there?
Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives.
By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you?
Oh, he's probably, like, stuck to the wall or ceiling like a fucking gecko. No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garadeb told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Like, watch, we're gonna pan over. Yeah, see, this is the pan. I'm gonna look around here first, but we're gonna pan over, and he's gonna be like a fucking lizard on the wall.
Do it, do it. Let's see.
No, I want to look around on this side first. I don't want
I
to
want
get...
to look at the cat.
Okay, fine, we'll look at the cat. Are we playing, fuck,
Oh my, what an adorable little cat.
what the fuck were those? Are we playing Nintendogs and cats? Did you see that? It's like one of those 3D models.
Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away.
I don't know about that. He disappeared into a pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain?
Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan.
Hard to see, but Sether's back there playing with her toy. That's made me feel homesick now.
Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Oh, look, it's a beckoning cat from home.
It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that mannequin Echo all the way from Japan with him.
I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage?
Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm.
Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him.
Not doing a very good job so far, is it?
Yeah, it has felt like it was a long week. You mustn't say such things.
I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway?
Ah, that's how. He looks
No,
at your
I
eye.
think she's still I think she's still a fucking mind reader.
Wasn't that girl in the Phoenix Strikes game psychic?
She was actually psychic, and you know what? That's right, because she was a psychic medium, and so was her. She had a little cousin, and her older there was a whole family thing. That's Mia, M-I-A, I believe is her name. You know what? Oh, wonder if there might be some relation also down the line between her and Mia. Maybe that's what they're alluding to with making her seem like she's psychically picking up on what we're saying all the time.
Yeah, but other people seem to do the same thing too.
Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reached the ceiling.
They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty.
Okay, and also just in case you haven't played like the games with Phoenix Wright and stuff, just in case you're wondering if those are as weird as this game, like I said, your assistant there is a girl named Mia. She does spirit channeling, and she will literally channel the spirits of the dead in the courtroom, like to help you with the case. she often gets channeled because, like, your boss, Phoenix Wright's boss, before he became a full lawyer, he was working under another lawyer, which was Mia's older sister.
Isn't she like killed?
Yeah, she's killed like in the beginning of like the first Phoenix Wright game or whatever. But she channels her older sister all the time to like help you out in cases and stuff. And like her body literally changes when she channels people. And her little cousin is this little girl named Pearl, and she turns into like a fucking giant person like when she channels an adult. It's really fucking weird and crazy. So just so you know, this game isn't alone in being weird and batshit insane. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you?
No, what a dreamy idea.
A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine the books that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again.
So reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us.
I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy.
I want to get this guy bookshelves, man. This is a horror nightmare for me.
This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here, too.
I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo?
A gas meter?
Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district which consumers pay for by putting coins in the meter.
So if we were to put a coin in the slot...
That would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night.
So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold?
That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white note.
London is a scary place. Did you even call this a window?
I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some brick.
So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anybody deliberately brick it up like that?
I'm afraid I have no idea. Perhaps Mr. Natsupe painted the brick design on it. A fit of whimsy?
That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive.
It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying.
Oh, hold on. Wasn't flashing. Gotta only do it when it's flashing.
That desk seems to be wedged into a crevice between the mountains of books on either side.
I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well.
Yes, he must have done. Mustn't he? Oh, what's this? A receipt from a second-hand bookstore. Your book.
Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. And look, the date of purchase, 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident.
Just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He mustn't have been on his way back from buying some old book.
All right, boys. Take a look to the right. Let's see if I was right.
Oh my.
Okay, no, he's not. I'm surprised. This looks rather like
Normal?
what you would expect a normal person to be doing, yes.
He's reading a book.
Although I don't understand how they're here and they're just like, where is he? When he's right there next to one of the only light sources. All right, boys, we will talk to Sherlock Sholmes next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicle Adventures of the Detective from Japan.
Tomorrow you're doing Demon Souls with Keisha Wolf.
Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow it's Killing It with Keisha. We're doing Demon Souls Remake.
And then Aku Scream is what day?
The Aku Scream will probably be on Friday. There was a call for maybe doing some GTFO. Maybe we might do that on Saturday, the GTFO. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily have to be Aku Scream. Yes, there's technically zombies in it, but I mean, we can also play horror games outside of Aku Scream.
We could do Aku Scream, like, story-based horror game. Like Amnesia and whatever the other one we're doing.
Lamentum, Friday night, 8 o'clock.
And, like, you guys could do scary game, like, multiplayer scary games any time you want.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, the main thing is we can't do scary stuff on a night where Reika needs to get sleep for work the next day because it'll get
nightmares.
Yeah, it'll give her nightmares. So that's why we don't do scary stuff typically on weeknights. Anyway, regardless, we are sitting here looking at Sherlock Sholmes way too much. Instead, we should be on the ending screen, and we should just be saying what?
Well, I'm just reading. There's a new Phasmophobia update that came out.
Oh, that came. Yeah, it's the pout thing that was throwing me off. I was like, you keep saying something is out. Something is out. Regardless, yeah, we'll figure it out. We're gonna be playing games. We're gonna be doing streams. There's gonna be stuff coming up. So, yeah. Cody Cat, thanks for being here. Reiko, of course, thanks for being here and helping me with some of the voices. For everybody else, no matter who you are, where you are, and whenever the hell you're watching this, thanks for watching. If you're new, go ahead and give me a follow. I'd really appreciate that. Like, subscribe, tickle bells, all that kind of good stuff. It would really help out. It really does mean a lot to me. And then there's just the only thing to say is stay safe out there. Love you guys. Seriously, be safe. Better be safe. Oh, and good luck tomorrow, Cody Cat.